Okay, so let's go back, say, 10 to 15 years when we were starting to look at the whole virtualization thing. It was a new concept to many of us, the thought of combining lots of servers and applications onto a single hypervisor and piece of hardware was seen as a scary and unproven idea, really, whereas in reality it was something we were already doing, using a single server to host multiple applications because, well, servers are expensive. And fast forward a few years and it's the norm, and if you're still using discrete servers in today's environment, then you're really behind the time. Well, virtualization is the start of transformation in modern IT. We should all have a defined strategy that has some guiding principles, and these are normally around improvements in flexibility, scalability and efficiency. Virtualization gives us all of these really, but it's only a start. It's the start of a journey to simplify and streamline IT, where we can focus less on the operation of the IT platform, more about improving value that we give back to the business. Well, I wouldn't even say that virtualization is the first step. I mean, having a clear strategy for your IT estate has got to be your first step. Without that, you have no common plan to measure, nothing to align your choices against, or nothing concrete or ratified by the business. The strategy has your high-level business requirements, such as flexibility and scalability, but also has to take into account trends in the industry. Well, if we look at those trends, we can see that cloud has been the next wave, using cloud platforms to operate workloads and move them away from on-premise infrastructure. But as I said in the blog post, that really cloud is great for some workloads, but maybe not so good for others. Again, we have to look back at our strategy, and if an application's flexibility and scalability and perhaps cost efficiency can be improved from using a public cloud provider, in a secure fashion, obviously, then cloud is perhaps the correct choice. If it can't, then on-premise is probably the way to go. Yeah, well, maybe and maybe not. I mean, we need to discuss what cloud is. Cloud means a lot of things to a lot of people. To me, a cloud is an IT environment that's wrapped in many layers of governance and automation. These layers should be transparent to the cloud subscriber. So a private cloud could be one that uses on-premise IT, wrapped with that automation layer, such as the Hyperconvergence players are doing at the moment. Yes, okay. So this is a term that relates to manufacturers taking a converged platform, which was a discrete compute network virtualization and storage layer, and effectively wrapping them up into a single deployment. It's something that's easy to install, but more importantly, easy to manage. It's the next step really in the evolution of the data center. When we moved into the virtualization world, things became a bit more complicated with the need for common storage and networks. We achieved the flexibility maybe, but not the operational simplicity, and that's kind of what Hyperconvergence is trying to give you. It's trying to improve performance, but yet again allowing the underlying components to be hidden from the operator so that they no longer need that advanced knowledge and training on each product. It allows them really to focus on the business, but not keeping the IT lights on really. And as a good example, if you take our Neo stack, for instance, which is the storage, the compute, the networking, the backup, disaster recovery, cloud connectors to sort of give you a full automation through APIs, and it's all delivered using a single point-and-click interface to the user. So if you want a new machine, sure, click, it's created, it's segmented, it's custom firewall, it's put behind a load balancer, it's backed up, it's replicated. You still need the physical resources again, but then you just follow the design principles of web scale. Just add nodes to scale up or scale out as you need. Well, once we've got our private clouds and our public clouds, we can connect these and move workloads as required to the most efficient platform at the most efficient time. When move your applications to, say, the public cloud for large batch processing at the weekend, or to develop new applications in the public cloud, and maybe then deploy them to the private cloud, complete flexibility. The flexibility is almost here today, really, though, as everyone develops common standards and open APIs. So there's no reason why we can't do that today. True next generation IT will combine Internet of Things, containerization and self-application deployment, monitoring, with the aim of providing really a self-contained, self-healing, self-secure ecosystem, reducing yet again really the cost and complexity of IT operations, whilst truly really giving efficiency and scale into every part of the IT estate. Yeah, well, there's no getting away from it, is that IT is getting more and more complicated underneath, but simpler and simpler to operate. You know, the industry is evolving at such a rapid rate, and IT directors really need to take a step back from the technology and consider the business goals and drivers. I mean, I would start by ensuring you have a solid strategy, really. Build this from a base of where you are today, where your short, medium and long-term goals are. Involve all your senior stakeholders, take design principles and think about, but don't necessarily focus on industry direction. Build a picture of what would the future look like if you were not limited to technology. And once you have that strategy and it's agreed by the business, it's just a case of really breaking that down into areas, into discrete components, and sharing this as an open document with the rest of the team and system integrators for their view. Ensure that any projects that you run are always re-baselined against this strategy. You're always working towards the nirvana view and not taking you away from it into system integrators or manufacturers' view of what that future looks like, but focusing on your strategy really. Okay, so recently I've been working with a number of clients on just this type of transformation plan, breaking down and re-evaluating their existing and planned projects to evaluate against this new overall strategy. It's led to some really interesting conversations where development teams and operation teams and service teams all have different end goals based on their own objectives. And that's just internal IT before we even consider end users. And it's this lack of cohesion that's led to the shadow IT when the end user will procure on their own. And normally, nowadays, that's a cloud service. They can consume it directly from their own budgets and they don't have to involve IT in it. And it's these shadow IT systems really that are great point solutions to fill gaps, but can lead the business down a rabbit hole once we have to integrate them and we have to prove governance, etc., and look after the data. Well, in short, the advice is to set your strategy. It's to communicate, evaluate, communicate again, re-evaluate, re-communicate, build solid relationships with your system integrators. In fact, if you can get them on board to help you early on with your strategy, you can allow them to guide you and to give you solid advice, but just without being too prescriptive, and make sure they don't pigeonhole you. In short, get good advice and communicate it throughout your business.